Hi, it's Norman Koshnek here for Extra Time. Once again, in a pre-match discussion or analysis of what will be a fantastic match. The last two of the 8 sides are to play today, and they are, of course, Rajasthan Royals versus the Punjab Kings. The other 6 teams have now had their chance to play together, and we are now into the last 2. And probably the most intriguing 2, because a lot of changes to their teams, a lot of potential there. Have they reached the potential yet? A lot of people are predicting these 2 sides to be to the bottom of the 8. We'll see certainly how that transpires. And of course, the major signing of Chris Morris for the Rajasthan Royals, and he's turned out to be the most expensive player ever in the IPL to be actually selected. Intriguing. My argument is that he's probably been overpaid, and let's hope he can deliver. It's going to be a particularly difficult thing for him. Let me introduce 2 of our panelists today. Vijay Lokapilli here, a very senior journalist of great esteem and a great importance. Glad to have you, Vijay.
Thank you.
And also from the Bharat Army. Of course, we all know the Bharat Army are a mainstay on this particular series of the IPL with pre and post shows. A number of the people already have been involved. And we have today none other than Anuj Gia. And he is actually he's in fact from Jaipur. Jaipur, yes, of course, Rajasthan Royals territory. And by the nature of your colour, I'm guessing you're going for Rajasthan Royals. Is that right, Anuj?
Absolutely. Looking forward for the match. Exciting journey ahead for Rajasthan Royals this season, and looking forward for the conversation with you guys. Yeah.
Fantastic. I've been to Jaipur, and I remember the Hema Mahal. It was a great building. That was a fantastic location. I enjoyed it immensely, especially the food. The food in Jaipur is rather unique to Jaipurians. That's the term. Yeah. Now we're also going to be joined by Nikhil Nas a bit later, and then post Nikhil, we may even have Debashish Sen from Extra Time joining us. So we're an action-packed group. The most important thing about today is to actually see the potential of these sides. I've talked all series already about the hunger of players and of teams. It's evident to me that the likes of the Delhi Capitals and even to the extent of KKR, there's an element of hunger about the way they're playing. Clearly, they're leading up to a challenge and making a victory in this series. Of course, Mumbai Indians, as we know, have won the last 2 years in a row, but a 3rd year in a row, it's going to be particularly difficult to replicate that, even though on paper they've got a tremendous side. Now, some of the inclusions, of course, for the teams today, that's of most interest. Obviously, the Rajasthan Royals have got the likes of Ben Stokes, Josh Butler, and also the most heavily paid Chris Morris. And then, of course, Punjab Kings. If, of course, Chris Gale's got time in between his music engagements, as I've seen all over Instagram and Twitter today, Chris Gale's latest song, if you might have seen, which is rather interesting. But otherwise, they've got a very youthful side. And they've got, of course, 2 Australian bowlers bowling their lineup as well, the likes of Richardson and I believe also Meredith. Those 2 players have played in the recent BBL, and they've done particularly well. Vijay, from your perspective, what's your take? What's your thoughts on today's match?
I think both the teams have had a history of some very close contests, and Rajasthan Royals they do lead the head-to-head lineup, but I would expect Rajasthan Royals to go full blast, because if you start with a winning on a winning note, it takes you on a high, and I'm looking forward to how Sanju Samson leads the side, because he's a very young, very exciting prospect. He's done very well in the past, and he has waited long for his opportunities. A very, very gifted batsman. How he leads the side, it's going to make a mark, because with Butler, Stokes around, the franchisee has picked Sanju Samson as the captain. So that is one aspect of it. And on the other hand, you have KL Rahul. It will be a very important game for him. Also, again, I mean, if they start on a winning note, Rahul is capable of taking the game away on his own. And you have Mayank Agarwal, a very, very exciting batsman. If Chris Gayle gets to play, we'll have to see, because last time, if you remember, he had to wait for his chances to come and play. Today, if he starts if he begins with the winning playing 11, so that will be good. Let us see. I mean, the playing 11 is a big debate.
Exactly, VJ. From both teams, there's a huge debate with both teams. The fact is, the first game of a series, really, it's going to be a dog's breakfast. There'll be a complete change around the teams. They won't be settled. We've already seen evidence of that. The fact that we've had the batting of Ruben Saha opening, even though he had history from the previous year, that was a questionable one with Bairstow on the team. Over to you, Anuj. What's your thoughts of the Rajasthan Royals batting?
I mean, I'm really looking forward, with the new management and new captain Sanju Samson. There will be a fresh start for Rajasthan Royals. Releasing Stephen Smith. Now Sangakkara will be the manager, or you can see the director of cricket for Rajasthan Royals. It will be interesting to see, as Vijay sir said, how Sanju Samson goes with his captaincy. It will be very interesting to see, because we have seen, he's been captaining the side, for Kerala in Vijay Hazare Trophy. He did, did a good, what we can say, a reasonably good job for the team. But leading an IPL side is a different story. We have seen a lot of captains, especially the youngsters like Shreyas Iyer making his way to the Indian team. So really expecting a lot with Sanju Samson. Also with Ben Stokes, Josh Butler experience at its best. I guess it's going to be a very exciting season for Rajasthan, and I'm seeing Rajasthan in top four for sure in this season.
Very good points. There's been a lot of discussion in our series so far, gentlemen, on the captaincies. I mean, Shreyas Iyer, of course, injured his shoulder and has been replaced by Rishabh Pant. Most pundits think that was actually a fortunate stroke. There was some question marks about Shreyas Iyer's captaincy in the first place. And there was a lot of questions. Nikhil Nuss, who will be on very shortly, will definitely talk about the fact that the bench was where the captaincy really occurred with Delhi Capitals, with Shreyas Iyer. There's a concern, even though Samson certainly is a great talent, there's a concern about his captaincy to an extent as well, the experience levels. Clearly, with people from Owen Morgan right through to Dave Warner, having had a lot of experience in this format, their captaincies are beyond question at this point. But I do think it's going to be interesting. And obviously, KL Rahul in opposition today, Rajasthan Royals, will be of great note. Captaincies win matches, don't they? Distinct captaincies. But also the top three batters of a side win matches. And I think it's already proven that you must have a good, solid start to your opening of an innings. And I think that's proven successful as well. We saw the previous night some early failures in the innings, which led to a lesser score in the case of against the KKR, of course, the way that Sunrise Hyderabad played. They batted better towards the end, but they never really got on top of the innings after a relatively bad start to their innings. All right, now, one of the things we'll be talking about later on in the next 20 minutes or so will be the toss, what they will do with the toss, and the eventual team selections, which we'll have some conjecture now about who the teams are. Usually we see a person receiving their cap if they're new to the team. We get a bit of a hint as to some new-blooded players. But I think the teams will be quite open. I'll talk about that in a minute. But ultimately, it's a great challenge for both these sides. They've got a lot to achieve. They've got a brand new start. You said, Anuj, about the way that they're playing. That's the Rajasthan Royals. There's a brand new aspect to this side. But Chris Morris, I've got a heavy thought about his place. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but the price tag attached to him, wow. Yeah. Quite a substantial amount of money, which brings pressure on Chris Morris as well. Will he handle it? I'm guessing he will. Vijay, what else do you think about this today? What stands out for you?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Sorry, Norman.
Okay. What stands out the most from this match for you? What's the highlight in your mind we're going to look forward to?
Highlight, I'm very keen to watch Ben Stokes, because he is going to leave a mark on this IPL. If he gets going from the beginning, Rajasthan Royals are on a good pitch, on a good wicket, as they say. He will lead this the onslaught, because runs from him at the top. He has to open, and if he gets going, if he bats 10 overs, Rajasthan Royals will be off to a great start. And they have Josh Butler, very well established batsman they are known. But Sanju Samson again, a very fearless batsman, I would say, who never feels any pressure. So that is the plus point. But I'm very keen to see the battle between Ben Stokes and KL Rahul, because both have the same kind of temperament. They love to absorb the pressure, carry the team on the shoulders. So Stokes and Rahul. Of course, Mayank Agarwal, we know all is a very gifted cricketer. But then Rahul and Stokes will decide the fate of the contest.
Debashis, now you've joined us. Are you suggesting Nikhil Nasser is not joining us?
I think he might be busy with the live, so I thought that why not join the discussion.
We can't keep a good man down, Debashis. We know you didn't like being in the backstage, or you wanted to be front stage. I knew it. I knew it. By the way, guys, Vijay and Anush, I sometimes bring in my crystal ball, which actually is a part-time chocolate milkshake holder, but my crystal ball has a lot of secrets in it. So when I bring that out, expect some incredible statements. At least we hope. All right, Debashis.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry, just letting you know, Debashis, CSK are not playing today, so don't talk about CSK. All Debashis talks about is CSK all the time. They're not playing today. So Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals, I want you to have your surmise on those two teams for me, Debashis.
I think if you talk about Punjab, I think their pace attack is a much more balanced, and with the likes of Mohammad Shami. We all know what Shami can bring out to the table, and you have someone like Riley Meredith. I will be very excited to see the pace he generates on this wicket. He's a new addition to the side. Because he has been bowling well in the Big Bash League, so we all expect that we see a lot of fire in him. And also the thing is that Arshdeep Singh, another fast bowler who did well last season for Punjab. Yeah. So these three fast bowlers, along with the likes of Murugan, Ashwin, or Ravi Bishnoi, and we all know Ravi Bishnoi last season he did reasonably well, and he caught the eye of everyone, and he was the find of the IPL last season for Punjab. So I think the Punjab Kings have a lot of balance in their attack compared to the likes of Rajasthan Royals, where you have the likes of Andrew Tai, or you might say Kartik Tyagi. Kartik Tyagi was with the Indian team that toured Australia, so he did not get an opportunity, but he was definitely there. And Jaidev Unatkar is also another option, but I doubt whether he will make it to the playing 11. So it will be either between Tyagi or Unatkar, and then you have Chris Morris. We all know he has been the most expensive bowler that was roped in by Rajasthan Royals. So a lot of expectation will be on him to deliver, but it depends. But what is concerning for me, Norman, so as to say, is that we all know that Chris Morris is very injury prone. Means, with all due respect, we know, means the fact that whether he can last throughout the season is a big question mark. But I would be very, very interesting to see how Shivam Dube delivers. A lot has been said about him. He had a huge expectation. He was drafted in the Indian team, now got dropped out of the Indian team. So it will be a huge, huge IPL season for Shivam Dube. Obviously, the T20 World Cup selection, T20 World Cup in next few months in India. So I think these are the few players that will be closely followed. So it will be very interesting. And talking about the top order of Rajasthan Royals, obviously, they do have a lot of firepower in them, with the likes of Ben Stokes opening the batting with either Yashasvi Jaiswal or Manan Vora, with captain Sanju Samson coming in at number 3, followed by Josh Butler. It won't be a bad idea to Josh Butler coming in at number 4, because that will add more balance and stability to that middle order, which looks very inexperienced because you have Riyan Parag, who's going to come in at number 5. And we did see that he showed a lot of promise in the last season. But I think overall, I would say Punjab Kings are a better balance, and I would say they will be a little bit favorites going into the match.
Thanks, Debashis. Anuj, your take, your thoughts.
I think both of the teams are somehow neck to neck, I would say, because at one end you have Rajasthan, a mixture of youngster and ex-spinner campaigners, At the same time, if you talk about Kings of Punjab or the Punjab Kings, they have a certain amount of firepower with the likes of KL Rahul, Mike Agarwal, Chris Gale. Top three are somehow are the main contenders for the Kings, for the Punjab Kings. But if we talk about Rajasthan Royals, I guess it's not important for Rajasthan Royals to make sure that they are the good starters of the tournament. But when the business end comes, they we have seen they are struggling. They are not able to qualify for the top four. That is the playoffs. So it will be important and interesting to see that consistency is the key for Rajasthan Royals. How they carry the momentum. When it comes to the business end, that I'm very much excited and interested to know. With Punjab Kings, I guess KL Rahul will be the key for them. I mean, last time we have seen that KL Rahul also won the orange cap, but the concern for KL Rahul was, I guess, the strike rate by which he plays. He gets a good start, but the capitalization you want in the middle overs, that was missing. From KL Rahul, and also the bowling attack, as Debashish sir mentioned. I guess the more experienced and mature bowling attack is with Punjab Kings as compared to Rajasthan Royals. But yeah, with the likes of Mohammad Shami, Arshdeep Singh, an Indian raw talent coming, rising up to the occasion, I definitely want that. But at the same time, you have Kartik Tyagi, you have Shivam Dube, with the likes of Riyan Parag and Rahul Tewatia. Rajasthan also has a very good side to move on. So really excited. And as I said, both teams are neck to neck, and we really hardly can predict that Rajasthan win or Punjab Kings should win from here on.
Okay, that's great. Now, I've just got some breaking news here. There appears to be 3 IPL debutants in the Punjab Cup, which is interesting. It looks as though Shah Rukh Khan has got his hat. Hobart Hurricanes, the Australian BBL franchise Riley Meredith has got his, and the Perth Scorchers Jai Richardson's got his. So those 3 have actually received their caps for the Punjab cap. So that's distinct. Meanwhile, Mustafi Rahman and Shivam Dube received their maiden Rajasthan Royals caps. So that those 5 I've just mentioned are actually in the side. So Mustafa Rahman is actually in the side, along with Shivam Dube, which we expected. Interesting enough, Meredith and Richardson are both getting a start, and Shah Rukh Khan. And I always make a mistake. No, it's not the actor, it's the player. I always want to make that clear. I mean, I'm still thinking Mohammad Azharuddin at 60 and shouldn't be playing, but he seems to be getting a berth as well. I joke. All right, so there are 5 caps given out. This is what annoys me. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to know the caps are given out before we know the team selection. Tell us the team selection when you give the caps out. Have it at the same time. Oh, that's my frustration. I've vented, guys. I've allowed myself to do so. All right, back to Vijay, what about your reaction to the 2 Australian bowlers, Richardson and Meredith, getting a berth?
Yeah, I think expected line, because I can't show you if I can show you the 11 I have, I've got these two in my 11. So no big deal. I mean, it's just a cricket logic that they got to play. Mayank, Gale, I want to see if Gale comes in, because he can make a huge impact. But Meredith and Richardson will definitely add a lot of value to the bowling.
Can I quickly add? Now, this would be Chris Gale's first match for Punjab Kings, would it not? Well, he played for the Kings of Punjab. Okay, I'm just surmising if there was a cap coming. No, okay, he played for the Kings of Punjab, but for the Punjab Kings, it's his first. It's everybody's first. No, I'm joking. All right, so Vijay, actually, seeing you've got your paperwork in front of you, gone to some trouble there, as a good journalist would, let's hear your side. Would you please announce your side?
The Punjab side or the Rajasthan side?
Let's start with Punjab.
I mean, I had written down Rahul, Mayank, Chris Gale, Pooran, because I love Pooran's batting. Shah Rukh, of course, Huda. I would love to see Huda playing this game. And there is a local boy called Prab Simran, a very a very underrated cricketer. If he gets an opportunity to play today, it'll be nice, good for him and good for the team. Shami, Bishnoi, Meredith, Richardson. This is my name.
Okay. Now, my impressions were that it was going to be Gale or Puran, one or the other. Is that what you would suggest? It can't be both?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to see them both in there, but it may well be that one or the other would be the selection there. But I like your side. The young fellow you mentioned, he would have been given a cap, would he not, if he was playing? So I don't think he is playing. Yes, Vijay.
Yeah, my four foreign players are Gale, Puran, Meredith, and Richardson.
Okay. Well, we know Meredith and Richardson are definitely playing.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait on the other two at this stage. It's going to be interesting, very interesting. Anuj, I'll let you, if you want to, announce your Rajasthan Royals side. Seeing you're a Rajasthan Royalist, is that what you would call yourself?
So in my 11, I will be opening with Manan Bora and Josh Butler.
Hang on.
And then I will be.
Hang on. Did you say you're going to open? Are you opening? I heard you're opening. No.
No. I said Manan Bora will be opening with.
That was a shock.
No. Actually, Manan Bora and Josh Butler will be my openers. And Sanju Samson will be there at number 3 for me. Ben Stokes at number 4 will be a finisher. We have seen for England team that we all remember that 2019 World Cup final and that historic Headingley Test. So definitely I want Ben Stokes to be the finisher for Rajasthan Royals. At number 5, I will be having Riyan Parag. I hope he will be a mature player. It's been 2 seasons for Rajasthan now. At 6, I have Rahul Tewatia. So we all have seen 5 sixes against Kings and Punjab only last year. So at Sharjah. So we'll be having Rahul Tewatia at 6. At 7, I will be having Shivam Dube, and I guess he is also making the debut for Rajasthan Royals. So I'm sure that he will be batting at number 7. At 8, I will be having Chris Morris. And also I'm seeing him as a floater. He also can bat. So at number 8, I will be having Chris Morris. Then at 9, this Shreyas Gopal, leggy, from Karnataka, will be in my squad. Then I will be going with Karthik Tyagi, as Debashish sir also mentioned. He was with the team, when it comes to Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. 11th player for me would be Chetan Sakaria. A left-arm pacer from Saurashtra will be making the squad for me. So these will be my, playing 11 for Rajasthan Royals in today's game.
It's interesting you said there, Anuj, about Butler opening, Stokes second drop. I would like to see that too, to be very honest with you. But I think because of Stokes' insistence, it's going to be reversed. But logically, it should have been Butler opening and Stokes at second. But I would prefer them both to be opening, realistically. To me, that would be the ultimate pairing. They may hold that back for later. We'll wait and see. Debashis. I know. Do you want to say something else?
Yeah. Actually, just adding to your point, sir. We have seen, the Ben Stokes' performance has been there when it comes to middle order, for England or for Rising Pune Super Giants back in 2017. I somehow, question that particular stuff. That is Rajasthan Royals utilizing Ben Stokes perfectly. Because when you are giving Ben Stokes the opportunity to come in the opening, or maybe 2 down, or maybe low down the order, I mean, you are not justifying his place into the team. He reminds me of Freddie Flintoff, back in 2000s for England. So I just want that with Sangha coming into the play in the scheme of things for Rajasthan, I just want that the player like Ben Stokes should be optimum utilized by the Rajasthan think tank, and that's why I want at number 4, the Ben Stokes. Your thoughts on that, gentlemen?
What do you think, Debashis? What do you think of those comments?
I would like to differ, because the sheer fact that I think Ben Stokes has made it clear. Vijay sir, if you agree with me, I think Ben Stokes has made it very clear that he's going to open in the IPL, just because of the fact that the T20 World Cup, because I don't see him playing down the order. And talking about Punjab Kings, it means it's a the irony is you have the number one T20 batsman David Malan sitting out.
Sorry.
So you think that the best T20 batsman in the world is sitting out means, but then Chris Gale, I because he did play in the last season towards the later stages and he was in great form, but then but I doubt whether he's going to be fit because he's 39, if I'm not wrong, 39 plus. So it will have a lot to do with his fitness. But I would definitely love to see David Malan playing in that 11 because he's the number one T20 batsman. That's
Yeah.
the reason we picked him in the side. And obviously, Nicholas Puran, I have no doubt in Nicholas Puran batting in the middle order because he's his he's a very he has a very good technique and he can switch gears as he would like. But to play out both Jai Richardson and Riley Meredith, it stings both, and to fill them out in the first match of a tournament like IPL, yeah, they are inexperienced. So I think it is a little bit too much of asking of. But the fact is that so far as we have noticed that the fast bowlers doing the trick in the last three matches, be it Avesh Khan or so I doubt that um, living on David Malan. I don't know whether it's the right move or not.
So are you saying, Jabashis, that Puran is in, Gale's not in?
It has to be either of them. Among the
That's
three,
right.
it has to be
That's
two.
right.
It has to be Gale, Puran, and Malan. It has to be two in all the matches. You cannot have all three of them playing. Just the fact
right.
that they need some bowlers.
That's right. It's rather frustrating because I'd like to see all three in for sure. Anuj, quickly, you're going to say something?
No, I just made that point. So yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll defer to Viraj. Your notepad there. Have you got any secrets written on your notepad that you haven't told us? Have you got any secret etchings that you'd like to bring up?
You're referring to me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I was just wondering, there is, our young Anuj has given his views. I agree with him. These young people follow IPL better than my generation journalists. It's something very, you have to keep pace with the game. And we have seen IPL and other T20 matches. There's so many innovations, so many changes. Constantly, the coaches are experimenting. But I would like one cricketer to be given an opportunity, that is Jalaj Saxena. He's a good bowler, he can bat well, and he has been performing in the domestic cricket for so many years. And it is just that one opportunity he's been longing for. I wish it comes through in this IPL, and if he gets going, it will be justice to his talent, because he is a man, a cricketer with a very good temperament, and you have to have good temperament to succeed in this tournament. So I would love to see Jalaj Saxena getting more and more games in this IPL.
Well, let's hope the IPL selectors are watching this, as I'm sure they are. Debashis has promised me. He's forced them to get. You've sent them all the link, haven't you, Debashis?
Are you going to land me in trouble, Norman?
I'm joking. All right. Now, we should be any minute now. We should be seeing. Okay, the toss is about to happen, so we'll get a result very soon for the toss. I always ask this question, everyone: is the toss important? What do you think of the toss in the event today? We're of course at we're in Mumbai for this match.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about the toss? How significant is the Jew going to play? Viraj.
Easy service, car spa, denting painting.
Sorry, Vijay, my apologies.
Yeah. What was the question about the toss, right?
Yeah. What do you think the significance of the toss is in this match?
Significance of the toss is only the due factor which they keep in mind every time, but you can't be just basing your game on toss. You have to be
True.
prepared to chase or set up a score because you're playing so much. You have to understand that the flexibility factor is very, very important. And if you are a good team, you should be able to chase or you should be able to set up a target.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've got a pet hate, guys, about the term a team wins the toss and elects to chase. They either elect to bat or bowl, they don't elect to chase. It's an annoyance of mine when that term is used because it implies they're chasing around a car or something. The word chase doesn't come into play. You either bat or bowl when you elect to a toss. All right, Anuj, I have this feeling, I have this slight feeling, Anuj, that you actually are going to be saying that Rajasthan Royals are going to win today. I've got a feeling.
Absolutely. Being in Rajasthani and from Jaipur, obviously that fascination and that nostalgia is always attached with Rajasthan Royals. But yeah, I mean, we are waiting from 2008. No, I mean, the first edition of IPL, Rajasthan winning, Halla ball all over the place. Obviously, I will be, cheering for Rajasthan Royals. But yeah, as Vijay sir also mentioned about, about the toss, I guess it's going to be crucial for both the teams. We have seen Chennai and Delhi Capitals match in which Chennai scored 189, but Prithvi Shaw and Shikhar Dhawan made the mockery of the bowlers of Chennai, Super Kings bowlers. So it's going to be important. At least you want 200 plus on the one killed pitch. It's a batting paradise we have seen. So let's see. But I am the captain of Rajasthan Royals. I will be opting to bowl first. Considering the inexperienced bowling lineup, I will be bowling first, and would like to chase the target.
Okay, that's a good. I would argue that's the right way to go. I totally agree. Debashis.
Yeah.
I would also agree with Anuj. Obviously, you win the toss and you bowl first because on a Wankhede strip, which is a batting paradise, any target can be achievable provided you have a good start. So I think whichever captain wins, I won't be surprised if they decide to bowl first.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like the toss has been won. The Rajasthan Royals have opted to bowl. So the Rajasthan Royals have won the toss and they've opted to bowl. Obviously, they were listening to Anuj. They were waiting to see what Anuj said, and then they reacted. Correct? I'm sure that was the case.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even bring my crystal ball out. My crystal ball is not working today. I better give it a bit of a hit. It didn't work. But anyway, it doesn't matter. All right. So, Anuj, your crystal ball was working. So, Rajasthan Royals have elected to bowl, which is actually puts them in a very good spot. It's a very positive start for them, I would argue, because the Punjab Kings will be under an element of pressure when they go out to bat. And we're going to very shortly see the sides. Aren't we excited? I'm very excited to see whether Gale plays or Puran plays, or that for that matter Milan. That's the big moment. One of those three players, I agree with Vijay. I think that I'd like to see Puran play. I think he's the most exciting. I think in the recent tournament against Sri Lanka and West Indies, he was looking good there. I think even Pollard looked good there. I think that's a significant player. Puran is the future of West Indies cricket, and certainly has a role to play in the IPL.
So, Norman, I have the team for you. Can I just
you certainly
go on?
Can. You certainly can.
So, I would just read out the Rajasthan Royals 11. It's Manan Vora opening the batting with Ben Stokes, Sanju Samson at number 3, Josh Butler, Shibam Dubey, Riyan Parag, Rahul Tewatia, Chris Morris, Shreyas Gopal, Chetan Sakaria, and Mustafizur Rahman. So this is the Rajasthan 11. I repeat once again: Manan Vora, Ben Stokes, Sanju Samson, Josh Butler, Shibam Dubey, Riyan Parag, Rahul Tewatia, Chris Morris, Shreyas Gopal, Chetan Sakaria, Mustafizur Rahman.
That's a pretty good side, isn't it? That's a pretty good side.
I also have the Punjab side for you, gentlemen. So I'm just reading out the Punjab side for you. It is KL Rahul opening the batting with Mayank Agarwal. We all expected. Chris Gayle is playing. So too is
Whoa.
Nicholas Puran. So we have both this West Indian playing in the first 11, both Chris Gayle and Nicholas Puran, followed by Deepak Huda, Shah Rukh Khan, Jai Richardson, Murugan Ashwin, Mohammad Sami, Riley Meredith, and Arshdeep Singh. I repeat once again the team for you all: KL Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, Chris Gayle, Nicholas Puran, Deepak Huda, Shah Rukh Khan, Jai Richardson, Murugan Ashwin, Mohammad Sami, Riley Meredith, and Arshdeep Singh.
Well, that's a bit of a shock. I didn't expect both Gale and Puran to be in the side. Did you guys? I didn't think both would be playing. I know.
At least I expected Gayle to play in the first match.
But seriously, and you mentioned earlier, Debashis, Milan, I think he warranted a selection ahead of Chris Gayle, to be really honest with you. I would have thought, I mean, Milan's, as you said, he's the leading T20 player in the world of cricket. How could you not play a player of that caliber? I don't understand that. Vijay, what do you think?
Well, this is just the first game, so there's still 13 more games to go. But I'm so happy. My young friend Anuj, he picked Manan Vora because again a very talented batsman, and Vora was in his 11, not in my 11. And Sakaria, of course. I mean, Sakaria has done exceptionally well in the domestic circuit, so I'm so happy he picked Sakaria. Gayle and Puran, I wanted them to play, so they're playing. It's going to be very exciting. We can look forward to some fireworks tonight because both the teams have got the right mix of stroke players and the right bowlers on the Wankhede pitch.
We're in for a great match, guys. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. And in particular, because the Rajasthan Royals have won the toss, and we're going to see up front the Punjab King top four, namely Rahul, Agarwal, Gayle, and Puran. That is a pretty heavy opening four. It's true. My only question was Milan, perhaps because of his position in the T20 rankings. Anuj, are you still confident about Rajasthan Royals winning? Is it still oozing out of your veins, the win? Can you see that?
I can surely see that win. I mean, it's now up to Rajasthan Royals, how quickly or, the minimum score they can restrict the Punjab Kings. We have seen 200 plus of scores are being chased on this wicket. So, I mean, I'm going with the firepower of Ben Stokes, Manan Vora, Sanju Samson. You have Butler in the middle order with the likes of Rahul Tewatia and Riyan Parag. It's going to be a crackerjack of a match, gentlemen.
But I am disappointed, Anuj, about one thing about you. I'm actually very disappointed. I'm looking at your wall behind you, and I don't see Samson in the big picture of Samson on the wall. What's happened? Did you pull it down, or was it there somewhere? Is your captain?
Actually, there was. I mean, I surely will be, displaying or will be putting a picture of Sanju Samson from the next match onwards. Definitely, will be joining your panel in future as well. So definitely, we will see a picture of Sanju Samson and the entire lineup or Rajasthan Royals in behind of me, in back of me. Yeah.
And if I see any lipstick marks near his face, you better be not wearing lipstick when you do that, okay? I'm just letting it okay. It looks suspicious on camera. I'm telling you now. All right. This is, in my opinion, guys, I mean, we've had some amazing matches, haven't we, already? The first match was down to the last over. The second match was equally as exciting. The third waned a little bit, but I think we're going to rise up here and have a very high standard of match. It's going to be particularly exciting. These two teams have a lot to prove, and there's hunger in both these lineups. I'm particularly keen. Samson's captaincy, which is under the spotlight, certainly. And obviously Rahul is expected to do well as well. What a great game we're looking forward to. I'm particularly excited. Now, Debashis, your prediction. And don't say CSK. Do not say CSK. It's another game.
My prediction would be I would love to see Punjab winning the match.
No, hang on, Debashis. I didn't say what you would love to see. What team will win?
Punjab is winning. My prediction is
Okay.
Punjab is winning.
Right. Anuj, do I have to ask you again? Maybe I should. Have you changed your mind in the last 5 seconds? No?
Absolutely not. I'm going with Rajasthan Royals. Halla bowl all the way. So yeah, Rajasthan will be winning this game for sure.
By how much? Would you like to give a prediction?
Maybe by 6 wickets, considering it's going to be a highest. All can say. I mean, it's going to be a long chase for Rajasthan Royals, so we'll be going by 5 or 6 wickets. Rajasthan will be winning this game.
Okay, that's a very confident mood. Now, Vijay, you've been very happy with some of the selections. Some of the youthful players have got a Guernsey. What's your prediction?
I wouldn't like to disappoint our young friend Anuj, because let Rajasthan Royals win. Rajasthan Royals winning will be in. Looking at the lineup, please don't underestimate the Punjab bowling. It's not going to be easy, and it's always better to be underdog, because here Punjab looks the underdog. Rajasthan has a very fabulous lineup. Top heavy. They also have batsmen who can change the course of the game in the first 10 overs itself. But for our dear friend, let Rajasthan win this match. In the return game, let Punjab win the return game.
Vijay, that was very clever. You made out that you were pushed to support because you felt sorry for Anuj. Is that coming from your heart as well? It is? Okay. All right. So we've got, it looks like the bottom of the screen is crazy, and Debasis and Norman are actually PP crazy, as in Punjab crazy. I have this feeling Punjab are going to go nuts, as we've seen with their top order. If those four go off to a massive bang and they lead towards a score of 200, I'm afraid Rajasthan Royals were going to have a lot of difficulty getting that score. Despite some very good batters, they may have difficulty getting that score. That's my concern. Had, of course, the likes of Butler and Stokes been able to get the first chance on this wicket, we may have seen a different story. I think the toss is somewhat interesting in this particular situation. We're all excited to see Gale and Puran, but more so Rahul Agarwal. Now, Agarwal in Australia didn't disappoint, did he? He played particularly well in Australia, and he deserved his chances. And I think this is his time. He wants to put a stamp on his chances of making the T20 squad coming up for the World Cup. Watch out for Agarwal today. All right. My crystal ball, I did see an element of Rajasthan Royals. There was an element there. It percolated a little bit. But then the cream came to the top and Punjab was there. So I'm afraid Punjab Kings is my suggestion for the winner here. All right, guys. Any thoughts? Have we got any concerns or any? Or is there a tantrum here? Is there a selection that should have happened that you didn't see?
No,
Last
obviously,
thoughts.
I would still believe that Dawood Malan should have played for Punjab on any given day. He's an informed player. He's a current cricketer. He's playing for England. Chris Gale. When did he last play? Chris Gale. Obviously, he has been a legend in his own right as far as T20 cricket is format is concerned. Almost 6,000 runs. He's a legend in his own right as far as T20 cricket is concerned. But then, I would definitely love to see a current cricketer in any team on any given day. Means and who better than Dawood Malan? Means he's the best T20 batsman at the present scenario. It's a bit disappointing not to see Dawood Malan. It was expected because you cannot play a Dawood Malan, a Nicholas Puran, and a Chris Gale, all three at a time. But I would say that I would still believe that Punjab going in with two inexperienced Aussie fast bowlers. Obviously, they did well in Big Bash League, but then to play in a stage like IPL, where there is immense pressure to perform, and that will test their ability, I would say.
Look, I'm Australian. I'm in Sydney, Australia, and I would argue that both Richardson and Meredith are slightly underdone. That's my thoughts. Okay, First finger up. I think VJ, your thing up. Did you have your finger up?
I'm going to give Chris Gale Devasis's number. Let him make a call tomorrow and sort it out with him. What I'm saying is, this is this is just the first game. So obviously, the team managements in both Rajasthan Royals and Punjab, they are going to try out a few things, because you can try them out in the beginning, not during the middle of the tournament or towards the end where you are looking to, uh, make the knockout round, or this is just the beginning. So they have a few things in mind. Nothing wrong in Chris Gale playing, because Chris Gale, if he clicks, he will win you the tournament. I mean, he's the kind of batsman
Yeah.
who can just he can take on any game, any bowler on any pitch, any condition. And if you don't want him to open, he can come at number four, number three. He can still play with the same intensity. So I think Devasis is right about Malan, but Malan can wait. The tournament is not going to be over after tonight. It is just the first game, and both the teams are going to experiment. I think the first 3 4 games allow them to experiment, then they'll settle down. And please remember, my dear friend Devasis, our dear friend Anil Kumble is the coach of Punjab, so he must be thinking a lot when he picks these two players and the two bowlers. He must be having something in his mind.
That's
Absolutely,
true.
sir. I totally agree with you, sir.
Anuj, your hand was up with great vengeance. What do you want to
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I wanted David Malan as well, but I also wanted Chris Gill in his side. I mean, David Malan can play in place of any. You can replace any one of the Aussie bowlers. In place of Richardson, you can play him. But I mean, we have seen in the last season that with the return of Chris Gale into the side, of Kings in Punjab, there was a slight change of brand of cricket Kings in Punjab was playing, before Chris Gale. So you always want a guy like Chris Gale who can really, go berserk from the ball one. So I definitely want Chris Gale into my side. Also, David Malan will be a key player, for the Punjab Kings, especially when we talk about in the business end. He is the number one T20 player in the international arena. So definitely Chris Gale and David Malan, both features in my 11. Malan can be included with the replacement of any one of the Aussie bowler who are playing today.
I'm just worried about Chris Gale putting a reggae or R&B song out that I saw all over Twitter today. That's my concern. I think he's been preoccupied. Yes, Sebastian.
Yeah, one thing we missed out in our discussion pre-analysis is that Mustafi Rahman. I think he's a very very good addition to Rajasthan Royals side, because we know what he can do, especially being a left armer. So he has shown and he has the caliber to do it. And we all know that while he was playing for Sunrisers Hyderabad, he won a number of matches for SRA, and there was some issues, there was some controversies surrounding him, whether he's going to come and play the IPL or not, whether he's going to play for the
Yeah.
country, whether the country comes first or the franchisee comes first. But at last, it's good to see him playing in the franchisee league. After all, what Saqib Al Hassan said, that it's better to play in a tournament like IPL rather than playing Test cricket for Bangladesh, because there is no stake. Bangladesh is not going to make it to the World Test Championship final. They have no stake there. It would be better off, because only two Bangladeshi cricketers are playing in the IPL. So it would be better off if they can play in the IPL, get accustomed to the conditions, be well prepared, because for them to do well, I think experience will does matter. And I'm very happy that Mustafizur Rahman is playing, and he's been picked in the playing 11 in the very first match.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's important for teams like Bangladesh and, of course, the likes of Afghanistan with Rashid Khan. Those teams need to have their players in. It's important for world cricket. The IPL is a world platform. It's not just for India. So well said, well said. In fact, well said for all four of us. I shouldn't include myself. You other three fantastic speakers today have been wonderful. I don't agree with you necessarily all the time, but I certainly have a lot of respect for what you said. But Anuj, if you do not have a Samson post on your wall, I'm not going to talk to you again. Okay. All right.
So we'll be having the pictures on something for sure next time when I feature with this panel for sure, sir.
Are you saying for sure or pretty sure? Who did you say that? Oh.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty much sure that I will be having the picture behind me with the likes of Sanju Samson.
Okay, good. What a fantastic show. I feel very buoyant. I can't wait to watch this match. I'm going to go and get myself a cup of tea, maybe with a little chocolate biscuit, only a small one. Well, maybe lying, maybe more than one. We'll see. And Debashis, again, you've organised this fantastically. VJ, you'll be a regular on the spot. You're going to have to get used to my humour. You can
I
tell
love
me.
it.
You can say anything about me. The only thing you can't say is do not knock my crystal ball. This is going to be the secret teller. I even see, if I look carefully, I can actually see who's making the final. I can't divulge it. I can see a name there already. I think it says D. I'm seeing D. I'm seeing the letter D. Is that a hint? Maybe DC. Not sure. Could be it. It's not Deccan Chargers. They're not playing, okay? It's not Deccan Chargers, okay? VJ, don't think Deccan Chargers. It's another DC. A small hint. A very small hint. All right, Debashis, are you looking at the screen? What are you looking at, Debashis? Are you looking at the Hindi movies or something? You're not looking at the screen.
No, I have to end the broadcast once you see off.
Okay. All right, guys, we better go. All right, we better go. We better let people get ready. Have a cup of tea, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. VJ, Anuj, of course, Debashis have been fantastic. This is Norman Koshnek here saying goodbye until the post-show from Extra Time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.